I have a UAV. And something tells me it's gonna work just fine.
We're taking the lead. Airstrike standing by. Helicopter support standing by.
Total fucking bliss right now, dude. I'm in flow state.
Ask any filmmaker and they'll tell you that limitation breeds creativity. Ask anyone still playing COD 4 and they'll tell you the same thing. Hey there, this is the One Boom, and today we're going to be talking about the fact that Call of Duty 4 is still alive and why I think that is. Call of Duty 4 is going to be 20 years old next year, and it still is alive and well on Xbox 360 and Xbox One and Series X. On the Xbox platform, you can just load it up, play it. There are people playing TDM and S&D. And spoilers, I already know why this game is still being played. It's not just for nostalgia. This really was the last of a breed of Call of Duty. A breed of Call of Duty that I would throw in with maybe World at War, but World at War had its own oddities. COD 4 sort of stands alone as its own unique identity. Nothing was like Call of Duty 4 after Call of Duty 4. I mean, World at War was similar, but Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, COD Ghosts, everything after this game was different. Everything after this game was bigger, more spectacle, more streaks, more options, more perks, more attachments, more everything. So what is the point of playing COD 4 then? If every other game after it has more stuff, why am I playing COD 4? Take away gimmicks and gadgets and strain Call of Duty down to its bare essentials: sprinting, crouching, proning, shooting, jumping, meleeing, reloading, ADSing, putting an attachment on a gun, choosing your perks, stay alive to get up to a helicopter kill streak. You take that refined Call of Duty experience, all of the basics that we know and love now, we take that and we put it on interesting maps, and suddenly the fun doesn't come from a camo grind or an attachment grind or anything like that. The fun for these people that are still playing COD 4 comes from navigating these complex combat puzzles. Block, crossfire, pipeline, overgrown. A play session of COD 4 takes you around the world and gives you so many different areas, both visually and layout-wise. Going from pipeline to downpour, to showdown, to kill house, then over to vacant, and then all the way over to crossfire. Then you play some backlot, and it's just an entirely different game every game. Infinity Ward was really good at that. We saw that again in Modern Warfare 2. And luckily we saw that again in Modern Warfare 3 2023, although no one was expecting that. Anyway, when you have players limited to very few perk options, very few attachment options, suddenly little things like what you're seeing on screen right now makes a giant difference in the appeal. See, I could stream Black Ops 7 for 5 hours and very few people would point out when I'm doing well. Because in some ways with modern COD games, especially the modern Treyarch games, they can be a lot of fun, but the only thing to really do in them is do well. No complex combat puzzle, no story to your match, not really much of anything like that. Mostly just cookie cutter maps about winning gunfights and doing well and shooting people before they shoot you, and that's fine. I actually like Black Ops 7. I can have a good amount of fun in it. But back to this clip in COD 4, you go on a flank on Overgrown and you start taking people out of their spawn before they really realize where you are. And there's no tracker perk, there's no high alert. There is, you show up on the minimap when you fire an unsuppressed gun. There is UAVs, that is it. You can hear footsteps as well, but that is it. And so anyway, you load into this game, and the first thing you notice is that sprint is a resource. So getting alongside a trench or on the outside of the map or up into the top story of a building isn't something that you do haphazardly. It isn't something you do without activating your brain, because your sprint is a resource. You need to be careful about how you get somewhere and be careful about being caught in the open. So the thrill comes from navigating in and out of buildings, or taking that flank route, or pulling off an actual massive play. Getting into the enemy spawn and killing 6 of them before they can react and then calling in an airstrike on them, that is where the dopamine comes from. And it's weird to me is that I would think at this point I'd be so desensitized to Call of Duty. You guys have watched me in Black Ops 7 get nukes, call in legions and VTOL gunships, and just dominate the map, get 100 kills in a match. You guys have seen that from me. But somehow picking up 5 kills when you have less ammo, and not unlimited sprint, and 1 attachment on your gun on a large map, even though it only shows plus 10 on the screen, it is a massive amount of dopamine. Instead of being showered in numbers and rewards, you are told the enemy's on that side of the map. If you can get there, great. If you can kill them, even better. If you can stay alive after doing so, even better. Good luck, Godspeed. It's an unforgiving game of milliseconds and millimeters where your footsteps can end your streak. And it's that practicality that makes you focus on every moment. That is why people are still playing CoD 4. The practicality and the limitation has them focused on every moment, even almost 20 years later. Cut out all the noise, cut out the AC-130s, the UAV, CUAV spam, you cut out attack dogs running around, you cut out grinding for COD points, you cut out camos, you cut out all of this. I mean, there is progression in this game, there is attachments, there are things to unlock. COD 4 wasn't the Stone Ages, but you cut out all that noise and suddenly the moment-to-moment gameplay is the loudest thing on screen. Suddenly, bumping into an enemy player is the loudest thing in your mind. That's what people are there for. They're there to equip their favorite gun and kill you. Getting into gunfights, throwing a perfect grenade into a room of campers, that is what CoD 4 is. You want to know why CoD 4 is alive? Nothing in CoD 4 is distracting from the actual point, is that we're trying to have our glorified sort of military simulation, airsoft Nerf gun paintball match of our childhood dreams. A lot of you might not relate to this, but let me just tell you a quick story here. My friends and I used to, all have Nerf guns, and we used to go out into my neighborhood, which of course was very large, with some abandoned properties, with some open backyards we could also weave in and out through. There was a giant pond, there were trees that my friend would climb, there were these giant rocks that had the sign of our subdivision on it, and we would hide behind that. It wasn't a very fancy neighborhood, but it was fairly large, and we would hide from each other and hunt each other down. We had walkie-talkies to trash talk each other, and it was exciting when we saw one of our friends and we would, try to mortar darts over at them and throw our grenades, which were just, baseballs. When online first-person shooters like this came out, it was way more in line with how people were playing and how movies depicted combat compared to like arena shooters like Quake, where they were sort of science fiction-y. There was this sandbox element to it. It's what Halo captured. Halo captured that sort of 3D boomer shooter craze, but it had this, these large play spaces and vehicles and turrets, and you're playing capture the flag with sort of weighted, grounded movement, and so it still felt like you and your friends were playing in the backyard. Games like CoD 4 aren't designed to challenge your mechanical ingenuity, it's designed to give you that virtual paintball match against, well, let's just say your friends. Let's just say all the random people you play with online are your friends for that moment, because you guys are both working together. That's really what it felt like when games like this came out. You're both working together to have a match. They're not trying to help you have a more fun match, but the enemy team and you are working together to make sure there's a game happening. Regardless of who wants to win, everyone's focused on getting that grenade in the window, taking out that sniper with their own sniper, flanking the enemy team through a trench. And it's crazy when you live stream this because people take note of your gameplay. Hiding in some random dead-end kitchen or closet on a map in CoD 4 has your chat when you're live streaming go, whoa, this is such a weird room you're hiding in. And then hiding in that room and sound whoring somebody's footsteps, going upstairs and killing them, that is exhilarating in itself because nothing else is there. There's nothing else distracting you. The loudest thing is the gameplay itself. Hunting, killing, trying not to be killed. CoD 4 is alive, and that means it's keeping something alive, and that means that Call of Duty developers could maybe learn from why people are still going back to this. I love Modern Warfare 2 and 3, I love World at War, I love Black Ops 1 and 2, I love CoD Ghosts, I love AW. I like playing a wide variety of Call of Duty. I like playing a wide variety of shooters throughout my life. I really have just been into playing these types of games my whole life. I mean, yeah, CoD 4 was great for me as a kid, but I was also making custom maps and playing Battlefield 2 against bots or any servers I could get into. Sometimes a game being simple and recapturing that feeling of being a kid in the backyard with an airsoft gun just is the most immersive thing you can play. What kills me is that we don't have any other shooters coming out that are really trying to target this experience. They're so worried about beating CoD, they haven't really looked back and seen what Call of Duty used to do and embrace that. If X-Defiant was made by Ubisoft for the sole intention of recapturing that Call of Duty 4 magic, Instead of massive amounts of clutter and just identity crisis, X-Defiant would still have players. In fact, it would probably be booming online if it was just a grounded military shooter with a grounded art style and visual theme, all about going into complex, interesting maps and taking out the enemies. In fact, you could make this a lot better and make the matches longer and really appeal to the people that are just there to hunt and kill the enemy players in complex, unique areas that provide different landscapes and tactics for combat. Less is more. It doesn't just mean that if you put too much, it's too weighted. It's that when there's less, what's there stands out. What's there is bigger. And I'm gonna tell you right now, those individual moments when playing CoD 4, almost 20 years later, are still pretty damn big. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this little retrospective. I know it's not a terribly deep dive or anything, but I just wanted to get this video out because it's been on my mind. I'll be streaming more classic CoD on the channel, so if you guys want to watch me, play these games, hit the bell icon to get notified when I go live. I also plan on doing some YouTube shorts about these older CoD games because I really like talking about them. As much as I like modern CoD and I want current CoD to succeed and sort of rival people's expectations of it. And the great thing about playing old CoD is that it reminds you what you even like about new CoD. It reminds you what you like about the franchise and where the franchise has gone and some of the new quality of life features and gimmicks and grinds, while still allowing you to focus on that core, just rudimentary gameplay style that just makes the franchise what it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
We keep going.
Recon standing by.
Fuck, shit.